Hello, everybody, and welcome. High noon, top of the noon hour to you. I am Rosalind Booker, Roz B. As Roz B, I am the principal broker, CEO of R Brook Realty, and the director of our new nonprofit, R Brook Cares. We are here for our realtist, what creating pathways to home ownership with the NAREB group. That is the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. We are here and proud to serve you and to give you and equip you with knowledge that's what going to move people into a better situation to just gain wealth, right? Home ownership. And today we have a special guest, Miss Madge Day. She's going to be talking to us about how to equip our lives with insurance and other benefits for the self-employed. So we are so glad to have you, Madge. Now, Arbrook Realty, we're a full-service real estate company here in the North Texas area. We birth dreams and build legacies in real estate. And like I said, our nonprofit, what are we doing? We're knocking the T off of can't. We're helping those renters become homeowners, and we're linking arms with, yes, our partners to educate and provide resources. And we're going to go around the room and introduce ourselves, all of these wonderful, dedicated NAREB members. And by the way, at the end of the show, we're going to invite you. If you are a NAREB member, we want to hear from you. If you have a value add, a topic, a subject, we need to get you on the calendar. But drum roll, I hear that lioness roaring, 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 and rolling. Come on and roll on in the room, Rhonda.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It is 12 noon, right? High noon. But listen, my name is Rhonda Hutchison, and I am the Lone Lioness. I am a residential mortgage lender, and I'm powered by Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. And I'm like Roz, I am linking arms together with those like-minded individuals, just like Roz and Chris, and even Madge on today. We're all connecting not only by NAREB, which is one of our main forces where we connect, but just in the community where we're bridging the gap between renting and home ownership, allowing those individuals to move forward with generational wealth by obtaining home ownership. So I'm excited to be here on today with our special guest, and I'm looking forward to all the information. So, because I know, like Ross said, she got a plethora. Wasn't that one of your favorite words, plethora? Of information to share with us on today. And later in the show, I'll give my contact information just in case you want to speak with me in regards to how do I get prepared for home ownership. Chris?
Hey guys, good afternoon. I'm Chris Ziegler with the Ziegler Agency Allstate, located in Frisco, Texas, serving the DFW Metroplex and the whole state of Texas. And I'm happy to be on the show today. And of course, everybody knows my motto: customer service with a personal touch and education. And what?
Consultation.
That's the consultation. The consultation. Exactly. So I'm happy to be on here, and I'm glad Madge is on because we've been friends and we've worked together on different things over the years, and we're all proud members of the National Association for Real Estate Brokers. But going back to my Allstate agency, I'm a full service Allstate insurance agency, the Ziegler Agency, and I'm powered by, like Rhonda says, the Ziegler Agency.
But that's where you get your fuel from, right?
Exactly. But we do everything from home ownership. I mean, not home ownership, homeowners insurance, to so you can have a home ownership. So I'm gonna clean it up to make I gotta make a mistake. So auto insurance, your toys like your boats and your motorcycles. I do supplemental insurance, life insurance. I do a whole plethora of things that we can talk about as well. So I'm looking
You
forward
can't
to
use my word without permission.
that's that's gonna be the word for today, plethora. So but I can do all those different things, and it's just so much more that I can do that's kind of hard to sell at one time. But looking forward to talking to you guys about that. And like Rhonda said, at the end of the show, I give you my contact information so that we can you can contact me if you have any questions about anything. But one thing I want to do before we get started, this customary for us to do, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and pray. Heavenly Father, we first and foremost thank you for giving us the opportunity and the platform to be able to do a show like this, to be able to be a help to others. And we thank you, dear God, for having Madge on the show for today, because A lot of times people don't have the proper health care that they need, and that's why we think it's going to be extremely beneficial for her to be on here to talk about people who are self-employed and even people who might need additional things like we were talking about supplemental insurance that kind of help them to bridge those gaps, Father, because we know Omicron and the COVID is running rampant right now, and just want to make sure that everybody has what they need in order to do what they need to do to help themselves and to protect themselves in a healthy manner and preserve their lives, and just to have tools out there for them to utilize so that they can make sure they can have the things in place for them to do that. We thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who is birthed on this earth to help us to fulfill your kingdom living here on earth. And we just ask you to impart that in us on a day-to-day basis. These are blessed. We ask in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
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 Miss Rhonda, would you like to introduce our guest and then have her introduce herself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are excited about our guest on today, which is Miss Madge Day. Uh, I feel like we go back, like Chris said, we go back like old Cadillac, and we go back a long time
Like
just
that.
being in the NAREB family. But I want to introduce you to Miss Madge Day. She is a wife, she is a mother of two, and she's a long time member of National Association of Real Estate Brokers. I think that's about 13 years, if I'm not mistaken. And
Okay.
not only she's a realtist, she's also a she's a realtist with Sapphire Property, because with the NAREB organization, you're not a realtor, you're a realtist. So we want to make sure we you guys understand that. And not only this, Madge holds a plethora of information. She's also with U.S. Health Advisor, which is under the umbrella of United Healthcare. And today she's come to us and she's going to talk to us about health being insured with health insurance. And one of her main focus is going to be self employment benefits with health insurance. But I'm sure there are some other things that she will share to us with us, like Chris said about supplemental insurance, something that we know we'll need. But I know we want to focus on today about how do the self-employed be prepared when it comes down to being insured with health care. So, Miss Madge, without further ado, I introduce you to some and I introduce you to others. Miss Madge Day.
Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much, Miss Lioness. I love that, Rhonda. You know, I have a mortgage background too, so I love that. Um, but thank you for the introduction. My name, as she said, is Madge Day, and I have been around the NAREB family for quite a while. So it's something with about NAREB you come to love. It's a passion, you know. And I told a lot of people prior to that I meet for years that we will, as real estate agents, because I am a real estate agent, we'll run out to get all the destinations behind our name just so they can recognize us, but we don't put our own destination behind our name. NAREB. That recognized them that the fight that we had to make to even be able to sell real estate in this country. So I am a realtist, as she said, and if you're a member of NAREB, you are a realtist because back in the day we were not allowed to be called realtors. So you that is NAREB isn't just some letters. It's important. But I'm also a healthcare advisor, and because I've met so many people that colleagues that I work with that they're self-employed and they're uninsured. It kind of prompted me and motivated me to go back into my health insurance bucket, so to speak, and continue to help. And my motivation is helping people. And I have over 30 years of helping people, whether it was back in the day in the mortgage business for 27 years and then to the real estate world. And before the mortgages, I did health insurance. I did that, the seniors insurance back then before the Santa 65s came out and all of that controlled insurance. And now I'm back because it's important. And one of the things that's really important for us to know is that the majority of people that die, with 25% of death comes from the uninsured. So uninsured
Good.
we're dying 25% we're at a higher risk of dying without health insurance at a rate of 25% more. So health insurance is important, but however, we feel like we don't
Hey,
need health insurance.
hey, Madge, do you think that's because they are not basically doing the routine care to find, out like if there's any underlying diseases or health issues, the people who are uninsured, do you think that the rate of them dying is much higher because they don't have insurance?
Good question. I'm glad you asked that because I was curious to find out too. So I wanted, my daughter is an RN, and I know other healthcare providers that work in the industry, and I found it very interesting in seeing and we're all experiencing COVID. Unless you lived under a rock, we're in a
Right.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And one of the things that the doctors do, and I heard this firsthand from someone that was instructed by a doctor, that they go through and you have all of these COVID patients, and I'm sure it's not just limited to COVID, and they look at your chart and they see what insurance you have. And they'll see that, okay, they have United Health, just for an example. They have this insurance. So order this test, that test, this test, because you want to keep them healthy. You want to try everything you can. The uninsured, they look at the chart and they say, okay, they don't have any insurance. Keep them comfortable. So that's what
Wow.
you actually experience. They actually experience in the hospital. So if you don't understand the importance of health
Wow.
insurance, makes a difference if you live or die. I mean, we can't say
Mm.
it enough, and it does, and it shows.
Hey,
I
Madge, I have a
myself remember when I was pregnant that was back in the day. But I remember, and it resonated with me when my doctor said he looked at my chart, and I remember he wanted to order some special something or whatever. And he looked at my chart, he said, "Oh yeah, you got that good insurance. We can do that." So that resonated. I put that together once I started finding these things out, and it started resonating with me. That is an important factor. So
Mhm.
you had a question, Chris?
Yeah, I had a question for you, Madge, because you see all these signs up now says free COVID testing and things like that. Is it truly free? Because I've been tested, and then they asking for my I got United Healthcare myself. I'm just not a commercial for United Healthcare. I just happen to have United Healthcare, and they ask for my card. So if it's free, why are they asking me for my insurance card? So are they actually charging something to United Health? Technically it's saying it's free, but you're still paying for it on the back end because it's coming from somewhere. So is free really free if you have insurance?
Is freedom really free?
Yep.
Yeah, is freedom free? Yeah,
Yes,
you gotta pay
freedom
a cost.
yeah,
Yeah.
the way it works, Chris, is that if you have health insurance, then they'll do it, but the back end of it is gonna be charged to your insurance company. Now, if you don't have it when you're going through, if you go to one of those types, then of course it goes to the other bucket because you do have some government assistance in that aspect. So that's how that's divided. But if you have health insurance, they're gonna do it. I had my COVID test. I just got over COVID. But I realized I'm thinking, okay, I thought a COVID test was free. So when I go to get my COVID test, you say, "What's your copay? Your regular office visit copay." That's what they charge me, my $35 copay. And then I ended up going on the system, finding out they charging my insurance for the remaining $100. So it's not free.
It's
It's
not
not
free.
free.
Just free to you.
That's a good question, though, Chris. But supposedly you keep listening to the news, you'll keep on going out there thinking it's free.
So, Madge, is it true that, I mean, look, I think a lot of people shy away from health insurance because if they have a choice between eating, paying the rent, paying their mortgage or car payment, and the car insurance, like Chris said, barely car insurance. Do you think it's the absorbent cost of insurance as to why people don't have health insurance for those who don't get it? Or do you just think it's a lack of importance and you really have some affordable plans?
Well, let's be honest. Health insurance has never been the lowest bill that you're gonna have on your table. It's never been. And you have to think of it, and I tell people to think of it in terms of necessity. Okay. You going out and you're the person that's making the money and you're the breadwinner. it's kind of like you're the key employee at your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not going to ensure your health, then that one situation that can happen, it can wipe you out. Any savings that you're out there trying to go out and save, and you choose not to get health insurance, one event, one situation could wipe your savings out. So in this world, there's no reason for you not to be insured. Yes, there's HCA out there, government insurance. It's a window. There's an open enrollment window that you can get it. But again, everybody can't get that either if your employer is offering you health insurance. As a self-employed person, it's important to think about it. That's what I get a lot from real estate agents and self-employed people. Oh, I'm going to do ACA. ACA is Affordable Care Act through the government, and it's based off of income. Okay. And follow me with this, is based off of income, and you want to get a subsidy. So you call them up and you tell them my income is this amount. So you could qualify for that subsidy, right? So, but you're self-employed and we're in business to make money, to make all the money we can. So we at the end of the year, we made all this money. But we told the government we made this amount of money. So then you wonder why at the end of the year when you file your taxes, you got to pay the government back all this money, because it's an income driven plan. It's not for everybody. It's definitely not the number one go-to plan for self-employed individuals. And our mindset as self-employed individuals is, I'm just starting out my business. I'm going to get the insurance one day, but I'm going to go with this for now. But you're starting off your business to grow and to grow your income. And if you're going to get something that's based off of income, are you going to limit your income to that amount? Or are you going to try to grow your income to the most it can be? And then, you can't have it both ways. Either you're going to grow your business and you're going to reach the status you want to reach financially, or you're going to go and lie about your income and then wonder why at the end of the year you have to pay it back. So that's a problem for self-employed individuals. And self-employed individuals, if you have employees and you don't offer it, there's a good way where you can be able to offer insurance to your employees and to yourself, and then turn around and increase your bottom line by doing it right. If you have less than 50 employees, you do not have to get the big group insurance that you hear everybody talking about. Well, I can't afford that for me and my employees because I have to contribute 50%. Where if you offer that group insurance, if you have 5 employees or 50 employees, you follow the same rule and guideline. You don't necessarily have to go that route, but you don't necessarily have to leave you and your employees without insurance either. We can help you set up group health insurance, group health individual insurance, so to speak. And when I say group, it's for your group, not to follow those over 50 rules. So, and that's why self-employed people tend to shy away from health insurance, because they think they have to offer group health insurance. You don't. If you have less than 50 employees, you do not have to go that route.
Okay.
So, man, one thing I know, sometimes I talk to people, and I've actually experienced it myself as well. We have scenarios and situations where people, get into talking about deductibles sometimes, because sometimes you're $3,000 deductible, 5,000. The higher your deductible, the lower your premium is going to be. It's kind of the same thing, synonymous with home insurance, auto insurance, the same kind of precept. But some people say that's kind of been a difficult choice for them to make sometimes too, because they say if I got a $5,000 deductible, I still don't have that amount of money to pay for me to even get to the point where I need to be in order to reap the benefits of the health insurance. What kind of things can you offer our listening audience on that to help them to work and navigate through that?
Good question, Chris. The thing about, let's first make sure that the audience understand what a deductible is. Okay. The deductible, you hear that a lot. And folks will say, okay, yeah, they understand. They understand until it comes down to what it really means. It's like a deductible is the portion of whether it's health insurance or car insurance or home insurance. It's the portion of your loss that you absorb out of your own pocket prior to your insurance kicking in. So if you go with a $3,000 deductible, $5,000 deductible, $7,500 deductible, whatever, you know that if something happens, you have to meet that portion out of pocket first. But think about it. If you have a $5,000 deductible and you have a $20,000 medical bill, that's a small price to pay, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's something that we have to think about and save for. So, but it's individual things that happen along the way. most of your people are healthy folks. They're not even going to meet a deductible in the course of a year. Okay. So
Right.
if you're a healthy person and you have a $5,000 deductible, what's the chances of you going to spend $5,000 in medical and health insurance and I mean medical issues in the course of a 12-month period? The chances of that happening is slim to none. So what we would do in a case like that is we have one of our plans, well, actually our plans, period, have a feature that is called your health and wellness. And that part of the plan, those are things that you do on a regular basis. That's not subject to a deductible. So if you have a plan that you have to meet a deductible before you go see a doctor, then chances are you're gonna pay your premiums for the whole, month after month, but then you're gonna pay as you go throughout the year. So do you really have an insurance plan? You have a catastrophic for a major something major happening plan probably, but for what you need it for every day, you need to make sure that you're getting that covered. Most of the people don't know what questions to ask when they're looking for health insurance. I mean, even with auto insurance, we don't have to
Well,
know the right questions to
well,
ask.
Madge, this is a great opportunity. What are the questions that people should ask?
The things you need to understand, and I will say that
Okay.
is that you need to understand what a deductible is and what does that mean to you. And as I said earlier, you have to know this is the portion that I have to pay. So you're saying I have to do $5,000. Well, or you can get a supplement, as we were Chris and I was talking about, a supplement that'll help cover those portions. You have insurance, supplemental insurance, that if you are hospitalized, will pay you back money for being hospitalized. That will also help you cover those gaps of your deductible. Okay. You have an accident. We know that we're more prone to an accident than we are an illness. We're more likely to have an accident than we are to get really sick. So make sure we have an accident supplement that'll help cover the deductible if we do have an accident, or help fill in that gap. So those are things that you need to know. You need to know after I meet my deductible, what happens next? My insurance gonna pay all of my insurance, all of my bills? No. You have what's called a co-insurance. And you may have heard co-insurance as being an 80-20, 70-30, 60-40, something like that. So basically what that means is after you meet your deductible, whatever it may be, then you have a co-insurance. And if you choose a co-insurance at 80-20 and 70-30 or whatever, that's saying that after I meet my deductible, then my insurance is going to kick in. Let's say if you had an 80-20 co-insurance, your insurance is going to kick in at 80%, but it's not 100%, right? So you still have the other 20% that you're responsible for. And then you also want to know what's my max out of pocket, because your max out of pocket is going to determine out of my deductible and my co-insurance, what's the maximum I'm going to pay out of my pocket, regardless of what happens, what's the max I'm going to pay. So let's say you had something, your max out of pocket was $10,000. So you meet your deductible, then you have an 80-20, and then the insurance pays it at 80%, but you still have the other 20% to pay until you max out your out of pocket, which is $10,000. So you get the complaints from individuals saying, oh, that insurance is crap. It didn't pay this or it don't pay that.
Right.
It's not the insurance that's crap. You didn't understand the insurance when you bought it. And you got to understand what your responsibility is to the insurance that you bought. And that's if you go on any complaint site, that's what you're going to see. Most folks who did not understand what they had. Oh, but you even get this one even better. You get the individual that come to you and say, well, I only want to spend $200. Well, baby, what you get for $200. I mean,
It's what you get, right?
You get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for. So when you're looking at health insurance, you asking these people in this insurance company to be there for you if you have $100,000 doctor bill. And if you know for sure, there's a lot of COVID patients walked out the hospital with over $100,000 bill. Okay, but they walked out with peace of mind because they had health insurance, because they knew that they'll be covered.
I have a question, and if this is going to throw us for a loop and we need to get back with the answer, so be it. But is there a life insurance policy that has medical benefits that in the event of a major illness, you get to take that money out and pay your bills? Is there such a program like that? Is it called, I
We
don't
have a
know.
program, and it's not called life insurance. It's called critical illness.
Mhm.
Critical illness insurance. And we have that, and we encourage everyone when they buy health insurance to take it on. And with our critical illness plan, thank God this year they approved us for COVID patients to also be able to get.
Wow.
So with the critical illness
Wow.
piece is that if you get diagnosed with cancer, a heart attack or stroke, and now even COVID, you can take out some of
Mm.
that. Uh, they'll pay you that while you're going through that process.
Well,
So,
to piggyback on what Matt was saying, with life insurance that we do too, we have what we call riders on the policies that you can get as well. They can cover certain things depending on what it is. Now the specifics we'll have to kind of take a look and see, but we do have riders that do cover medical situations and things of that magnitude. And then
Mhm.
kind of adding on to what Man said too about, once again, about supplemental insurance. Like I say, insurance usually normally only covers 60% or less of your medical bills. That's another benefit of having a supplemental insurance as well, because a lot of people don't realize that most
Mhm.
insurance plans are not going to cover all that expense. So a lot of people say, I had insurance, so what happened? So that's when health insurance, I mean supplemental insurance comes into play right there. So like she said earlier, it bridges that gap. So use simple math. If you had $100,000 bill and it pays 60%, it pays 60,000. You have another 40,000 that needs to be taken care of. And in many cases, that supplemental insurance will kind of fill that gap, depending on which plan you get and what you sign up for. And
right.
another thing you have to pay attention to as well. I mean, sometimes before you meet your deductible, sometimes if you have supplemental insurance, some supplemental insurance policies actually pay for you. They pay you to go to the doctor as well. So you just got to do your research and talk to people like myself and like Madge, who can kind of guide you in the right direction to get you to the point to where you know what you need in order to keep that money in your pocket the best way you can. And usually supplemental insurance policies, the ones we were talking about right now, they're pretty inexpensive. Now, the one we have a lot of times is based on age. Same thing with life insurance. The younger you are, the better it's going to be for you. But once again, something's better than nothing. Some people don't like that term, i.e., somebody who's sitting in front of me, but sometimes that does make a difference, to have something. And I know in
Mhm.
some cases, some people can't afford health insurance. I know some business owners will do supplemental because they want at least try to provide something for their staff. So until they can get to that point, and I was like that for many years. I mean, I just recently got into a position where I was able to do that because that was my goal, to try to get to that point where I could do that. And I finally could. What I did within the last year, I was able to do that. But prior to that, being a small business owner, it can be tough sometimes. But when I do better, I'm going to make sure everybody around me does better. That's my goal.
And I agree with you, Chris. The some is better than none, and some people may not like that, but you have to crawl before you walk. It's
Mhm.
better to have something that will fill a gap than to have the whole gap open.
Okay.
So if you
Matt.
can put something
Mhm.
in there, and the we offer a whole family supplemental package that will give them $10,000 of accident protection, along with MD Live, which is the telehealth. So if you can't afford insurance, the full blown, you can call it up and just do see a doctor over the telephone if that's all you can do. And that plan is only $89.95 for the whole entire family. Tell me who can't afford that?
That's amazing. Now,
We cover the whole entire family.
with these insurance policies, is it like life insurance? Is a physical or blood test required? What's required? What's the process, man?
Now, for health insurance, it is an underwritten policy. However, if there is somebody who is overweight and they have some issues, we do offer a guaranteed plan. So you got to understand too, if you're underwritten and they're checking you out up front, you're going to get more benefits because they've already mitigated the risk. If you go on with a guaranteed plan, it's a little more expensive, but it fits you because nobody else won't write you because you're overweight,
Right.
or you have diabetes, or you have this or whatever, and you haven't sought out it anywhere else. But there's a blessing that there is a policy that is available to you. It may be a little bit more expensive, but it'll cover some of your major stuff. the key with everything is knowing what you get. You have uh, agents that'll just write you something over the telephone.
Right.
The difference and whatever we do, we have to distinguish ourselves separate from someone else. So I may have been known as one of those that explained too much, but I'd rather you know what you're buying up front
Mm-hmm.
and explain it to you now than to have to explain it to you later when you get into the doctor's office and you thought you had coverage for that and you didn't. Now, people do have selective hearing. You tell them what they have and you tell them what you don't have. You tell them, it's a private insurance. Private insurance is not going to cover maternity. So if you want to have a baby, you got to get on Obamacare. I mean, because honestly, you have to know what it doesn't cover, and I don't mind telling you what it don't cover because I don't want you to come back to me later when you thought you had this and you don't have it, because I'm going to remind you. Or when you come back and tell me the coverage didn't, well, I thought it was going to cover this, it didn't cover that. Remember, you told me you only wanted to spend $600 for your whole family, and we had to scale down your coverage in order to get there. There's no way to really make it less affordable than to give up coverage. We know that. In order to whatever we do, we have to give up some things to get some things.
Right.
So
Madge,
you have to
what is the difference between the programs that you
They ain't
offer?
gonna let me talk.
I'm so sorry.
Like your growth,
I
it's like
didn't
why
Get
you
the
got
guys going. Ross is going. She got it. I like that.
I'm all engaged. Why? Because I'm gonna need to call Madge. Go ahead, Linus.
You know what? We just gonna call this the Madge and Chris show. How about that?
Go ahead, Linus.
Hey, you start talking about insurance and folks, look, those agents get excited. They ready to come on. We ready to let you know.
Lord have mercy. Madge, did you see me raise my hand? Did they stop? No, they
Sir,
just kept
we
going.
in trouble, Chris. We in trouble.
But no, Madge, that's only an indication of how much information that you're sharing that is really critical. And it just when you share good information, really good questions come out of it. But I did, and you kind of piggyback off of that is that I was going to ask. We talk about the self-employed, but what kind of policies or what kind of policies you have for those families that have the self-employed, that have the family that need to be added to policy. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. The self-employed, we have family policies. You have the husband, wife, and the children, and what have you. Have the just as good of insurance as you're going to offer to the self-employed. So that is an option. And you have to understand, if you're putting 5 people on, you can't expect your premium to be the cost of one. So premiums with health insurance, I will never mislead you and guide you that it's going to be cheap, because health insurance isn't what you call cheap. It's affordable and it's necessary. So it's definitely, you can have the spouses and the children on one policy, and they can get all of the benefits all around. We do the vision, dental, the supplemental insurance. We do the critical care. What I like to do is put a policy together that's what I tell my clients, what I'm going to show you first is going to be everything that you need. That's going to give you head to toe coverage. You want to call it the Cadillac or the Mercedes, that's fine, but it's going to give you head to toe coverage. Now, once we go over that and you understand what each one of these parts, the role that they play, you can decide if it's important enough to you to have.
Gotcha. I have a scenario
in the long run.
Okay, I have a scenario that, because I know this happens a lot with single mom that working, and they're having to provide health care coverage for their children. And of course, in some companies that can be very, very expensive. We know that maybe the employer may be covering the employer, but if they want to add the family on too, that's another, because I know specifically an extra $400 a pay period. Is there anything that you guys have or you have that covers that gap when an employer or mother cannot afford that help, that to cover their family? Is there something, or because that employee provides health care for that individual, then there's not another policy, or there's nothing like what we call a supplement that you can have to cover your children, or is that Obamacare option?
Well, what I would do in a situation like that is look at all the circumstances surrounding that particular scenario and that particular person. And depending on Obamacare does depend on if their employer offers coverage or not, if they're eligible for that or not. And it is tough for, and I see it a lot with your single mothers who may have be a single mother and their employer is paying for their coverage, but when you add the children and the rest of the family on, it becomes really expensive. Is if there's a mother and another spouse, then we can always look at putting that spouse and children on a different plan and let her stay there because the employer is covering most of her coverage. There's other plans that we can look at our options for. It just depends on the scenario and what we're doing because everybody's situation is different.
Right.
So, there are some in some rare cases we may, look at a child only plan, but you got to look at the pros and cons of that plan. So whatever plan you get, no matter what it is, you have to look at what the pros and cons are of every situation to get to what would be the best situation for that particular individual.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll finish, y'all.
But yeah,
y'all can talk
you're not
now.
self-employed, and I'm glad you asked that. Even if you're not self-employed and your employer, you're with your employer and you have children, you have a family, just because the employer is paying your coverage, that may not necessarily be the best place for you.
Right.
Because you still have another part of you that you need to look at and see what's the best thing. And what we would do is weigh them out. We'll look at what the employee is paying, what she's paying, or whomever, and see what will be the best thing for them. So, like I said, I'm an advisor. I'm not just an insurance agent. I'm an advisor.
That's awesome. Madge, I have a questions for you. So, I've been members of chambers, and there have been people that have come and say, "Wow, just for your well care or wellness, the routine physicals. If you come in and get a cold, whatever, that doctor need to write you a prescription for that. Nothing major, but like $29.99 a month, $39.59. Are those valid plans, or are those
the
just?
thing about it is that, and I'm glad you asked that because you have to be careful what you get. What sounds good don't necessarily mean it's good. Because if you can think about it, as Americans, we look at, and we've been conditioned to look at price. We look at dollars and cents. We know that. That's what we've been talked about. And if someone says that we could do this, this, and this, and it's only going to cost you $30, okay, that sounds good. But when it gets down to it, and you get to doing it, and at $30 for a course of a year, and what you paid for just that could have went toward a plan that's going to give you more. So you need to weigh those out because you'll hear a lot of folks say that, oh, we can get you all of this, not realizing it's a temporary plan. It's only good for 90 days or it's only good for 6 months. And now it sounds better because if a full plan is going to cost you, let's just do for an example, if a full plan costs you $400 and someone say, oh, I can get you all of that for $200, but you can only do that for 30 days or 60 days, 90 days, or whatever the temporary plan is. So you have to look at it because I find that a lot with clients that come to me. They've thrown money away in these temporary plans. And the other thing we need to know about a temporary plan, if you get your plan is getting ready to end in 30 days. Now you've been diagnosed with something that you're dealing with and they taking care of you or whatever. And now it's time to renew. Well, I'm not going to renew you because you got a pre-existing condition. Well, yeah, I got a pre-existing condition. And you know I have because I was on your temporary plan. Yeah. But now I'm qualified to go to renew because I have a pre-existing condition. Now I can't go and get the other insurance I could have gotten because I got a pre-existing condition. Had you gotten a permanent plan to begin with that will renew automatically every year, it doesn't matter how much you get sick during the year because it's going to automatically renew at the end of the year. And now you're not subject to a
Yeah.
pre-existing condition issue. So those are things that we need to be aware of when you're out there looking at insurance. We can make it sound good and we can make the price right, but you get what you pay for. I think that's what you said earlier. You get what you pay for.
So
Honestly.
no free lunch, no
No,
shortcuts.
nope,
Period.
nope.
And you surely shouldn't take it on your health care, especially if you are head of household and you're responsible for folks and they're dependent on you. You owe it to them to get the best plan possible for the family. And it should be a priority. It should not be an afterthought. So often, health insurance is an afterthought. And I tell you, share this example. And it wasn't but a couple of months ago. I was doing a plan for a gentleman and he wanted all the bells and whistles, right? So I gave him everything. But he wanted me to talk to his wife. So when I talked to her, she says, we don't want this, we don't want this, we want this. Now he's a truck driver. She don't want the accident coverage. She don't want accident supplement. So okay, she skinned it out and streamlined it. And then 2 weeks later, after the policy was enforced, and the man had an accident. He had an accident in the truck and got hurt, broke legs and bones and all kind of stuff, and no accident protection. Had she not taken off the accident protection, that would have been $10,000 off the bat that was going to help him with that bill. So health insurance cannot be an afterthought. We buy insurance for assurance, not for the afterthought. So if you're not worth the peace of mind of knowing you have insurance, if something happens and we can't control, then maybe that's why a lot of us don't have health insurance.
Oh, we're gonna pass the offering plate on that one. You girl, you preaching.
Right.
I just $5 right here.
And I care so much about I care about people, but mostly more importantly, I care about our people. And when I hear folks say that, oh, I'm young, nothing's ever going to happen to me, and then the next thing you know, they've been in a motorcycle accident.
Right.
So that's scary to me.
Now, Madge, I had a question for you. I know it's some good plans out there too. I think we talked about this before on previously when we had a discussion where you do have some physicians out there that have their own plans within their office. They kind of have networks where they partner with other, maybe like a gastroenterologist. They partner with a cardiologist, or have a relationship with a radiology clinic and stuff like that. But I know in those situations, it's usually you have to go to them specifically. What is that called when they do that particular type of?
Well, those are those doctor group networks type of things. But
The PPO?
Well, it's not. It's like an HMO, but it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not really an HMO because you can only go to, like, Baylor Scott and White has one like that. Okay, and you have to only go to Baylor Scott and White. So if you travel outside of Texas or wherever there's a Baylor Scott and White and something happened, then guess what? You're out of luck because there's not gonna be a Baylor Scott and White in the country, and you just got hurt on that horse or something. So, and that's how it is with an HMO. HMOs, you can only use them in the network and where you are. Mostly it's around your home. Some HMOs do not have out of network coverage. There's a few that may have emergency out of network coverage, but there's some that has none. And that's the other thing when folks go out to the HCA and they just picking and choosing and don't know what they're getting. Then you look at their plan and this person, you talk to them and they're a truck driver, but you got an HMO from the HCA that you can't go past. You can't go out. They don't have no out of network coverage. So if you're driving a truck and you're over in Tennessee and your coverage is for Texas, then guess what? You don't have no insurance.
And ACA, is that Affordable Care Act?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to look at what's out there. And right now, when Affordable Care Act came out in 2014, all of these insurance, they piled up in there thinking this is payday. They can really make a lot of money. But on the contrary, they lost a lot of money. Because remember, with the ACA, you got to take everybody. The sick, the healthy, the this, the that, everybody. So you got all of those claims coming off the bat. So those major companies that had jumped in, they started pulling their PPOs out. And a lot of them start pulling out, period. So you end up with some of these newer folks that's HMOs and EPOs, and you have to be mindful of if I have out of network coverage or I don't. You get a PPO plan and you're self-employed, you got to understand private insurance. There's some things that private insurance can't offer versus what your old employer offered. But you get the best PPO plan you can get that you can use anywhere in the state of Texas. I mean, anywhere in the United States. Now, no coverage is going to cover you out the country. You're going to have to get travel insurance for that. But anywhere in the U.S., even Hawaii, you can use your PPO plan, and that's what we offer PPO plans. To me,
Okay.
anything else is just for that area. And you know that with an HMO, with some HMOs, your HMO network area could be Tarrant County, and you go over to Dallas County, and it's just an example. You may be out of network, so it's important to know what
Wow.
your network is. You know,
Well,
You,
Madge,
you, go
I want to
ahead,
backtrack
Chris.
real. I want to backtrack real quick. Going back to pre-existing conditions, I thought through the Obamacare, I thought they didn't count pre-existing conditions under Obamacare. Am I mistaken in that?
no, you're correct. Remember, HM, that's what I was saying. ACA have to take everybody.
Yes. Okay. I
Everything that's wrong with them, they got to take it. So, as an
Okay.
insurance person that you are, can you imagine the risk that you're signing up for?
Right.
So that's why a lot of the insurance companies pulled out because the risk was high and they lost a lot of money. But again, I think the ACA is a great product and is necessary because US has one of the highest numbers of uninsured individuals. So it is necessary, But again, if you are self-employed and you know you're making money, get yourself a good plan that you got to pay for and not lie about your income to get on the ACA, and then you wondering and mad at your tax man at the end of the year when you got to pay back money.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
It's all relevant.
That's what's kind of sad too. What you just said too. The United States is supposed to be one of the richest countries in the world, or the richest country in the world, and how many people don't have proper health care here in the United States? And like I said, I think we should take care. As a believer, I think
Take
we should
care
take care
home
of
first.
everybody.
Is that what you want to
Like,
say? Take care.
Mhm.
yeah, pretty much. You said it, I did.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know, I
Exactly.
got people in my backyard that need the money and need the help, but then yet and still you going across the country and taking care of their folks over
Right.
there. But I
Mhm.
understand what you're saying. It's when it comes down to health insurance, we have the government has done something about it. There's insurance in place for those that need it. They won't seek it, but they need it. And then there's insurance, private insurance for those who do want to grow their business and want to be entrepreneurs and want to make as much money as they
Right.
can. We
That's
just stop stop putting healthcare on the back burner and think that
awesome. Well, we can definitely hear your passion, Madge. This has been so informative. I'm like, wow, pulsating
Mhm.
over here. A lot of great knowledge. Definitely will keep your information at the top of the list. Before we get off of here, we want to definitely, Chris, take a pause for the cause and just acknowledge Miss Laura Washington,
Mhm.
our president of NAREB. Want to give her a hand for allowing us to be here. Yes, yes, yes. This ship don't sail without Laura. Definitely veterans like Madge Day. I'm very, very honored that you are here with us today. But Chris, do we have some announcements coming up and some other nonprofit community endeavors to share?
I don't know. Do we? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, yes, we.
Don't you do that?
He has a plethora.
I hope so, because I'm picking up a big package for you this weekend.
But no, we do have a lot. We have a lot of different things going on because, like I said,
Plethora.
I believe missed. I was talking about the winter conference. It's going to be coming up in San Antonio. It's going to be March 1st to the 4th. And I think if y'all can correct me on this, I think is it $4.99? Because I think the early bird special is passed now. I think is it $4.99 or $5.99?
Yeah, they've gone back down to $4.99.
It's going back to $4.99. So definitely want to make sure you take advantage of that because it's rare to have that in your own backyard in San Antonio. For the NAREB members here in the DFW Metroplex, that's only about a 4.5 to 5 hour drive. So we definitely want to make sure that we take advantage of that. And then also, like you said, we have the coat drive that's going on still, where we're still collecting coats. In fact, a couple of people just texted me now and said they want to bring coats by today. And I got my little cheat sheet right here so I can read it, make sure I don't make any mistakes.
There you go.
It's going to be actually going to be at my office this coming Saturday. It's going to be the final drop off. So it's going to be from 11 to 2. It's going to be a fun time where we can do practice social distancing, but we can kind of still have a good time where we can communicate and kind of socialize and things of that nature. We'll have some refreshments and things of that magnitude here for you as well. And like I said, we're taking coats for all sizes, men, women, children. We want gently used clothes, coats and clothes. In fact, some people ask, Chris, what about the warm clothing like sweaters? I'll take sweaters as well. We just need anything because people need something all year round. So I want to make sure that we do our part to make sure that we do that. And like I said, the weather's getting ready to turn a little again. I think here in the next couple of days it's going to be cold again. So, like I told you once before, a lot of the organizations are glad that I do the coat drive a little bit later because they say they get depleted, around the November, December timeframe in October, and they need a replenishment. And they said it's the perfect time for when I do my coat drive. Some people thought, well, Chris, isn't that a little bit late? But it's not because, like I said, usually in Texas, that's when it gets cold, end of January, February, when we had the big snowmageddon last year in February, So, the weather can take a turn at any time here in the Metroplex. And then, too, on February 15th, we are going to have our installation of the officers. It's going to be from 6 to 9. And it's going to be in Little Elm at the Savory Kitchen. So we're going to be doing that also. So we're excited about the installation of new officers. And, Laura's going to be heading that up. And in conjunction to that, we're going to have a Black History program as well because people don't realize NAREB had a huge impact even during the Civil Rights Movement where Dr. Martin Luther King was partnering with NAREB to get a lot of the housing initiatives pushed through. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about. And they're going to have slides and videos showing where he helped, where NAREB partnered with Martin Luther King during the Civil Rights. So it's going to be a phenomenal time, educational time. And when we do anything, we take care of business, but we have fun at the same time too. So we're just looking forward to hopefully everybody coming out and participating in all the different events that we have coming up here in the very near future.
That's awesome. Said that very well.
Yeah, great job, Chris.
No.
Thank you.
We paid you well. So I wonder, do you have anything before we have Madge share her contact information?
No, I think Chris covered it all. He did such a wonderful, awesome job.
He did.
Well, you want to give me a compliment. I'm doing good today.
With my bad English, you getting gooder and gooder. Miss Madge, it's been a pleasure. Would you please state your contact information twice, and we are just going to type it in the comments.
Okay. Well, yes, thank you guys for having me today. I appreciate it.
You're awesome.
And I can be reached at 817-681-3552. And my email address is madgeday@gmail.com. I will just keep it simple, just madgeday@gmail.com. My phone number again is 817-681-3552.
That's awesome. And that email one more time?
It's Madge, MADGE, day, DAY, @gmail.com. Just keep it simple.
This has been so invaluable. Very, very much needed. I got a couple of devices going on over here. Come on now. Yes, we have, people just saying thank you. Great job, Chris, from our Facebook page. You're getting some hand claps.
Yay!
Great information, Madge. You're getting some hand claps. And again, we'll just do our round robin and introduce ourselves one more time and leave our contact information. Again, we are your host. I'm Roz B, Ask Roz B, Rosalind Booker with Arbrook Realty. We're a full service real estate company here in the Allen area, serving DFW and surrounding Collin County cities. We help people birth their dreams and build legacies in real estate. No one is going to be left behind. We love to educate, and consultate too, Chris, right? And I'm the director of Arbrook Cares. We are wanting to link arms and shoulders with those people, organizations, banks, financial institutions in the community, and help renters become homeowners. We believe renters don't need to rent to own, but own to rent. And I am also financial literacy coach with Team Wealthy. If anybody wants to get out of debt, income shift, adjust their W-4s to get more money in their check, right? Earn extra streams of income, you need to call me. You can call me at 972. Let me give another number. 972-996-4702. 972-996-4702. Miss Rhonda?
Okay. And I'm Rhonda Hutchison. I'm the Lone Lioness. I'm a residential mortgage lender, and I'm powered by Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. I do everything lending. And if you have any questions about either refinancing, purchasing, like Ross said, changing that mindset of renting and making everyone else rich into home ownership, give me
Yes.
a call. Even if you just want to ask me some questions, how do I get started? How do I get pre-approved? What are the steps to a pre-approval? How can I save, or how can I make that transition from renting to home ownership? Give me a call at 214-856-3747. Once again, that's 214-856-3747. And also, I'm also looking forward and looking to link arms together with those like-minded individuals, those real estate agents, insurance agents, anyone that's a realtor that's looking to link arms together to bridge that gap. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Let's work together in being able to change the generational wealth and build generational wealth within our community. So once again, I'm Rhonda Hutchison, Lone Lioness. My number is 214-856-3747. Mr. Chris?
Yes, again. Hey, guys, once again, this is Chris Ziegler with the Ziegler Agency Allstate, located in Frisco, Texas, serving the DFW Metroplex and the whole state of Texas. And once again, if you have any needs from homeowners insurance, auto insurance, renters insurance, we're a full service agency where we do life insurance, we do financial products, supplemental insurance, we even do bonds. Sharice, what else do we do? We do a whole bunch of
A plethora of stuff.
we do a plethora of things. And then too, I'll be remiss too. I am going to be sponsoring a happy hour. It's going to be in Dallas. I forgot about that on this coming Thursday from 6 to 8 at the wine vintage, distinctive wine vintage right there in 1110 Akron from 6 to 8. And it's going to be an awesome time, and we're going to be collecting coats and having the donations there as well. So some people can't make it to my office. I'll be remiss from telling you that. And once again, that's going to be, I can get it pulled up here, but it's going to be 1110 Akron in Dallas from 6 to 8. So if you can't make it up this far, or you think you can come through there, come through there. We have some beverages and some, little eatery type things that you can get as well. So come on out and enjoy yourself this coming Thursday on the 27th. And you have a great time as well. And then too, I'm excited. Tomorrow will be my 31st wedding anniversary on the 26th. So I'm excited about that.
Happy anniversary.
Congratulations. Happy
Bless heart and
anniversary.
heart.
So, me and my boo thing not going to do anything to this weekend, but, hey, I would be remiss
Bless
without saying
Tommy's
that.
heart.
Yeah, bless our heart. Bless our heart.
I guarantee somebody else in here would agree with you as well. So, but I'm just so excited to be on here with you ladies today. And Madge, we definitely appreciate you being on here as usual.
Yes.
Once again, sharing your plethora of knowledge, So, once again, it's one of your contact information one more time.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, she has a plethora of information.
Knowledge.
Come on. What's up, Madge? You have something else you want to share?
No, I was just messing with Chris. Thank you guys so much for having me. There's more, but give me a call, 817-681-3552. I'd love to share and do an individual consultation with anyone.
Awesome.
I do have one. If there is more, I forget. If you need to reach me, I can be reached at 214. We got time. We still got about 2 minutes, Ross. Quick look at that clock. I can be reached at 214-870-4269. Once it begin, I can be reached at 214-870-4269 if you have any questions about the co-drive, insurance, or even the event that's coming up this coming Thursday. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. Be there, or as I used to say, be square.
Be square.
That
was kind of square for me to say be there, be square.
Yes. And again, we are realtors creating pathways to home ownership. This is the NAREB North Texas Division, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. We are here every second and fourth Tuesday, high noon, for your hour of power. That's all we have time for today, folks. Y'all be blessed and make it a great day. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.